Assalamu alaikum. My name is Dr. Swarsvi and my project is about glacier. In the Holy Quran, in Surah Al-Mu'minun, Surah 23, Ayah 18, Allah says, "And we send down water from the clouds according to the measure that we cause it to settle in the earth, and most surely we are able to carry it away." Formation. Glacier is formed by compacted layers of snow. When new layers of snow come down, the previous layer turns into ice. It snows. The glacier forms. The glacier slides down the mountains. The glacier reaches a lake or ocean. Pieces of glacier turns into icebergs. And it starts all over again. The structure. Glacier is made up of more than just ice and snow. They also contain water, rocks, and sediments. Preventing glacier from melting. We humans can help glacier from melting down is by taking simple steps such as installing LED or CCL energy-saving bulbs, drive less, turning off lights after using room, recycle more, and put AC on 72 degrees or higher. Benefits. Glacier is a source of fresh water. Glacier stores about 75% of the world's fresh water. Glacier helps generate electricity. The following countries' hydroelectric power is generated by runoff from the glacier: 81% of Peru, 50% of India, 50% of Switzerland, 50% of Bolivia, 73% of Colombia, and 72% of Ecuador. The risks. Glaciers are sensitive to change in climate. They are seen as indicator of climate change. Glaciers all over the world are reported melting for at least the last 50 years. Many people are dependent upon glaciers for water, energy, and safety. The movement. Glacier is a large accumulation of many years of snow. The snow hardens and turns into ice. This solid material deforms and changes and moves. This glacier is also known as river of ice. Impact. Glaciers are massive bodies of ice that move across the Earth's surface like rivers. As glaciers move, they change the surface of the Earth by wearing away loose rocks and soil and depositing them somewhere else. My model shows these two mountains and shows that the glacier, the snow is on top of here. As I told you in the formation, the snow falls and breaks into icebergs in the lake or ocean. This is a river of glacier going to the lake, river, or ocean. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Athir Razvi and my project is about rotation of the earth around the sun. This is an ayat from the Quran, and this ayat talks about how Allah created the night, the day, the sun, and the moon. And this also talks about how all the planets are swimming in their own orbit. And this ayat is from Surah Al-Anbiya. And then another ayat from the Quran talks about how Allah created the day and night and the heavens. And this ayat is from Surah Az-Zumar. And right here is just talking about how the earth is round or spherical. Hadith of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. At the age of 11, our Imam said that the theory of the sun, moon, and the planets rotating around the earth is wrong. He said that it is actually the earth that rotates around the sun, and he also announced that the earth rotates around its own axis. Ptolemy's geocentric theory. Until the 16th century, it was thought that the earth was at the center of the universe, and this view was known as the geocentric model. From the Greek words, geo means earth and centron means center. In this theory, there were two observations that made the idea of the earth being at the center of the universe. The first observation was that the stars, the sun, and the planets appeared to revolve around Earth each day, and the second observation was that the Earth was solid, stable, and unmoving. And this is Ptolemy's model, how he thought that the Earth was at the center of the universe and the planets were orbiting it. And this is our scientific model. And this is a hand-drawn model by an ancient artist named Portuguese, and this is the same thing that the Earth is at the center of the universe and the planets are orbiting around it. The heliocentric model was proposed by Nicholas Copernicus, and his theory places the sun at the center of the universe, and his theory is still valid and correct. And he also published a book which is called On the Revolutions of the Heavenly Bodies, which means on the revolutions of the planets. In his theory, Copernicus placed the Earth as the third planet from the sun, and he also hypothesized that the stars do not orbit the Earth. The Earth rotates, which makes it look like the stars have moved in the sky. And he used geometry to explain his model to people, and this was happening in the 16th century, and around that same time, Galileo created his telescope so he could see if the sun was at the center of the universe, and astronomer Kepler refined the heliocentric model and proved it with calculations. So Galileo and Kepler also said that this theory was true. And this is the geocentric model, and this is the heliocentric model. Right here, this is my model, and this is the heliocentric model, which is still valid and correct, that the sun is at the center of the universe and the planets are orbiting it. So this is the geocentric model, and this is the heliocentric model. The geocentric model says that the Earth is at the center of the universe, and the heliocentric model says that the sun is at the universe, and this model is wrong. What causes Earth to revolve around the sun? Earth's motion depends on the gravitational attraction of the sun. Earth and the other planets try to fly out into deep space, but the gravitational pull of the sun puts all the planets into a curved orbit. And Earth has two ways which it moves in. The first way is rotation, which is the spinning of Earth on its own axis every 24 hours, and then revolution is the Earth's journey around the sun, which happens in 365 days. And this is revolution where the Earth is going around the sun, and this is rotation where the Earth is spinning on its own axis. And right here, this side would be sun, and this side would be moon. And different effects of rotation and revolution. Rotation causes day and night cycle, temperature and humidity changes, and it creates tides. And revolution causes a variation in the length of day and night around the world. It also causes the Earth to experience the various seasons. So when the Earth is going around the sun, it causes autumn, winter, spring, and summer. Conclusions. Thank you for listening to my project. I hope you learned about the rotation of the Earth around the sun, and Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kulsum, and my project is about blood and the circulation of blood. So here I have an ayat from the Quran. This is from Surah Al-Mu'mineen, and this talks about how you're made from a nutfa, or a clot of blood. And this is some other ayats that I chose from the Quran. This is from Surah Alaq, and this talks about how Allah said, خُلِقَ الْإِنسَانَ مِنْ alaq, which means Allah created a human being from alaq, or a clot of blood. And this is from Surah At-Tariq, and it speaks about how the Quran wants like another ingredient or raw material that is other than alaq, which is a clot of blood. And basically they're talking about a gushing fluid or blood. There were some discoveries by science when a physician named William Harvey announced his discovery of blood circulating around the whole body. And this is a hadith from our 6th Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. And here he talks about how blood makes a full circuit of our body, and if the circulation of blood stops for a few minutes, we will die. So basically, what is blood? Blood is a tissue just like the bones or the muscles in our body, and it's made up of two formed or components, which is plasma and formed elements. The formed elements in our blood are red blood cells, which are RBCs right here, WBCs, which are white blood cells, and these are the white blood cells, and these are platelets. So the human body contains about 5 to 6 liters of blood, and it represents about 7 to 8% of the average body weight. So back to the formed elements of our blood. The RBCs are the red blood cells, which gives our blood the color. Platelets help clot a mesh, like they help clot wounds help clot the wounds that we get. And WBCs are like warrior cells, and they fight any bacteria that enters our body. So here is 2 tubes, and this is how it would look when you draw your blood, or a doctor draws your blood. And this is how it looks when you centrifuge it or separate it. It separates into plasma, which is a clear liquid, WBCs and platelets, and RBCs. So a cool fact is that only 1 drop of blood consists of 5 million RBCs, or red blood cells, 10,000 WBCs, which are white blood cells, and 250,000 platelets. And every day there are about 260 to 400 billion new cells produced in our body. So basically the functions of blood, or the jobs of blood. Blood provides energy to the body. It also provides nutrition to our body, and it adjusts the temperature of our blood in our body. And the WBCs, or the warrior cells in our body, they fight off any bacteria, like I said before. And this is just a picture of a WBC, or a macrophage, and this is fighting off the bacteria that's entering our body. So, blood types. There were, like in the ancient times when scientists had no knowledge, there was a blood transfusion with a man and an animal. And basically what happened is the man got the animal's blood. And right after he got the animal's blood, the man died. And scientists tried to research about why this happened, but they couldn't figure it out. And there was another transfusion between a man and another man, and the man still died after he got the other man's blood, and still scientists couldn't figure out why. Not until the 20th century, when Karl Landsteiner, he discovered the blood is not just like a red fluid in our body. It's made up of much more. Like I talked about the RBCs, platelets, and WBCs. It's more than just a red fluid in our body. So there are 4 different kinds of blood groups. There's blood group A, B, B, and O. And O is a universal donor, which this blood can be given to anybody. But for a regular successful blood transfusion, the 2 people who are giving their blood have to have the same kind of blood group. So this is just a chart of how blood would circulate in our body. And the simple explanation of the circulation that happens in our body, your heart is sort of like a pump, and like the right side of your heart receives blood from the body and pumps it to the lungs. So right here, this is the right side, and this is showing how the blood enters the body, or enters the heart and stays in the lungs to reproduce new blood, which then the left side receives the clean blood and brings it out to the body, which is like a circulation, just like right here. Your blood would circulate from the right side to the left. Basically, the right side is where the blood reproduces, and the left side is where it all comes out into the body. Blood cannot be imitated. There was actually a scientist recently who tried to make fake blood, but the only function that blood could do was give off oxygen. And as we learned, that blood has a lot of more functions than just giving off oxygen. Blood is basically what we live off of. And there's some blood disorders and infections in our blood that we should be taking care of. One blood infection is sepsis. It's a condition where the entire body is involved in a toxic condition. And I just wanted to tell you guys my conclusions. I would like to thank Allah and our Imam for telling us and educating us about our blood. And it's amazing how our Imam had already known this 1400 years ago, and scientists are only figuring this out now. It is still a topic of research, and scientists have not come close to generating anything that is even close to the blood. And this is just where I got my bibliography from and where I got all my information from. And thank you for listening to me tonight. Jazakallah.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Kumal Razvi.
My name is Ilya Abbas.
And our topic for today is Quran and clouds. We're comparing between what Quran said versus what the scientists recently discovered about clouds. The first stage is when the clouds are getting pushed by wind. Cumulonimbus clouds begin to form when these small clouds get pushed by wind, and then they converge in an area called the converging zone. And as you see here, these small clouds are getting pushed. And here's a picture of it that was taken by a satellite.
And the second stage is joining. These small clouds join together, forming a larger cloud.
And the third stage is stacking. Joining clouds creates updrafts within the larger cloud, causing the cloud body to grow vertically. This growth causes the cloud body to stretch into cooler regions of the atmosphere, where drops of water and hail formulate and begin to grow larger and larger. When these drops of water become too heavy for the updrafts to support them, they begin to fall out of the cloud as rain, hail, etc. And as you see here, the higher and higher the cloud body grows, the heavier and heavier the droplets get. So that's when they begin to fall out of the cloud as rain.
And in the Quran or facts, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, Surah Nur, ayah number 43. Have you not seen how God makes the clouds move gently, then joins them together, then makes them into a stack, and then you see rain come out of it?
And still in Surah 24, ayah number 43, it says, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and he sends down hail from mountains in the sky, and strikes with it whomever he wills, and turns it from whomever he wills. The vivid flash of its lightning nearby blinds the sight. So in conclusion, what Quran said 1400 years ago, scientists discovered that recently.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakat. My name is Sayyid Murtajiz Mehdi Raza. My title for this project is Theory of Light. This was a great contribution from Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam. So as I begin, Theory of Light. One of the great contributions to science of Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam was his theory of light. He said that light reflected by different objects come to us, but only a part of the rays enter our eyes. That is the reason why we do not see distant objects clearly. Before the time of the Imam, it was believed that light from our eyes fall upon different objects so that they could be seen. Imam was the first to have said that the rays of the light from different objects come to our eyes and enable us to see them. The rays of the light from our eyes do not go and fall out on other objects. Otherwise, we would be able to see them in darkness. Whatever in the universe is our great Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam has the greatest knowledge with the will of Allah about everything in the universe. Imam alayhi salam's theory that were stated centuries before and that were later discovered by different scientists. This theory spread far and wide through his students reached Europe too. It was this theory which helped Liberty of Flanders to make his first binoculars in 1608. Galileo made use of these binoculars and invented his telescope in 1610. If the Imam didn't tell about the telescope, Librashi would not have made the binoculars, and Galileo would not have made his telescope to see distant objects clearly. When Galileo was asked why his telescope was made, he repeated the quotes of Imam Jafar as-Sadiq. This telescope collects all the rays of light coming from the heavenly bodies. With all the rays of light coming from the heavenly bodies are concentrated, the objects which are at a distance of 3,000 feet away appear to us as if they were only 60 feet away. If all the rays of light which come from them enter our eyes, objects would appear near to us. If we make a device through which all the rays light is coming from, as in an example, the camels that grazing at a distance of 3,000 zira. 1 zira is 40 inches. Entered our eyes, we would be able to see them grazing at an only distance of 60 ziras. All these objects would look 50 times near us. Thank you very much.